Business playbooks have always been critical for ensuring consistency, compliance, and operational excellence across teams in an organization, whether that's legal or compliance or procurement or HR or finance. But the way playbooks are being used is changing rapidly. Historically, they've existed as static documents, PDFs, or Word files. They've often sat unused, accessed too late, or they've been applied inconsistently. This has left value on the table for businesses, or worse, it's led to compliance issues and other types of missed opportunities. Over the past year, we've seen a turning point with playbook automation, and there's no surprise that generative AI is involved. Large language model technology and no-code orchestration platforms like Neota are reshaping how organizations use their playbooks. These technologies are transforming those static playbook documents into dynamic, actionable frameworks. And as we look ahead to 2025, they're set to empower organizations even further, helping them dynamically interpret and apply and scale playbook content across their departments in real time. Let's look at a practical example, the 40-page contract playbook. For years, legal and procurement teams have relied on these playbooks to manage risk and negotiate terms and align all of that contract activity with organizational goals. The static format of these documents has always been a challenge. They're dense, they require manual interpretation, and this slows processes down and limits the scalability of that content. It also fails regularly to deliver actionable insights around that playbook activity when teams need it most. That's where generative AI and no-code platforms come in. These tools are now unlocking the full potential of playbooks, and that's occurring in three key ways, which we'll explore today. The first is structured rules at scale. One of the most exciting trends we're seeing is how organizations are turning unstructured playbook content into structured rules-based applications. This could be anything from self-service tools for contract risk assessment through to contract generation, negotiation, signing, and filing itself. A big challenge in the creation of web applications or rules-based system is the blank slate or blank canvas problem. The very translation of playbook content from Word document format, unstructured PDF format, into rules that can be surfaced in an application does take time and energy. Thankfully, generative AI is helping to solve this problem. LLM technology specifically can parse large volumes of text, it can help identify critical decision points, and it can transform those parameters into structured frameworks like if-then rules and decision tables or decision trees. This content does require checking by a subject matter expert before it's deployed to production, but once it is, it's scalable and reusable. The AI can extract core logic from unstructured playbooks like liability caps or escalation triggers or fallback positions, things like that. It organizes all of this logic into rules-based frameworks. For example, if liability exceeded 1 million, escalate to legal. Or if a vendor isn't pre-approved, flag for procurement review. These rules can then be incorporated into applications using a no-code platform like Neota, where they then power automated workflows. The second critical capability following the rules-based piece is real-time interpretation. Structured rules are a game changer, as we've talked about, but they can't cover every possible scenario. That's where real-time interpretation comes in, and we're seeing it in the form of Neota customers using LLM assistants embedded in their workflows. The key challenge or reality here is that static playbooks often require users to interpret clauses or policies or rules manually. It's slow, inconsistent, and again, as we've seen, it's prone to error. But with real-time interpretation, your organization can query that playbook dynamically on the back end. You can get precise, context-aware answers to users exactly when they need them. This works in practice by the Neota workflow, including predefined trigger points where interpretation is needed. For example, during a contract review, a flagged clause might trigger a query. At that moment, the workflow calls out to an LLM assistant via an API call, asking a text-based question like, how does this liability clause differ from our standard terms? Or what fallback positions apply to this term? The LLM then processes the query, interprets the playbook content you've provided it, and delivers an actionable response. For example, this clause caps liability at 1 million, which is below the playbook standard. The LLM assistant might then recommend a revision to align with your company guidelines. This all happens on the back end and doesn't expose the end user to a chat-based interface, but it does accelerate decision making. it makes sure the teams are always working with accurate, up-to-date guidance. You might think about your procurement team evaluating a vendor agreement. Instead of manually cross-referencing a playbook, they could simply query an LLM assistant to confirm compliance with payment terms or escalation thresholds. The result of this is faster decisions and better compliance and less reliance on subject matter experts picking up the phone. The final way Gen AI is transforming playbooks is through the creation of structured data sets. Every interaction with an AI-powered playbook or an AI-powered workflow generates valuable data that can drive better decision-making, compliance, and reporting. The thing that's missed at the moment is that when playbooks are applied manually from the Word document or the PDF, critical data about the service and the playbook performance often goes uncaptured. Negotiation outcomes, compliance checks, cycle times, they're all missed opportunities for insights. But if you automate these processes, the data is captured as a matter of course. Operationally, when a workflow is completed, AI could extract key terms and clauses like liability caps or governing law or payment schedules and organize those into structured data sets. These data sets feed into centralized databases, which can be queried or integrated with other BI, business intelligence tools. And organizations gain real-time insights into metrics like compliance rates and cycle times and risk profiles on a contract type basis or more broadly. There's also very neat capabilities around data extraction for finalized contracts. For example, AI can extract all the key terms from a finalized signed contract and store them in a terms database, generating dashboards to show trends across the organization. Procurement teams can use this to track vendor compliance, and legal teams can identify common negotiation bottlenecks. Again, this isn't just about capturing data, it's about turning that data into actionable insights that drive strategy, and that will be specific to your organization. If the past 12 months are anything to go by, the next 12 are going to see an acceleration of this trend. Contract playbooks are leading the charge, and legal and procurement teams are going to prioritize automation for negotiation, compliance, and reporting. Our view is that other departments will quickly follow, with HR and sales and IT adopting playbook automation for onboarding and sales processes and governance. As more and more business playbooks take the form of interactive digital assistants and guiding users in real time, they will improve continuously through user and data-driven feedback. So your opportunity here is to think about playbooks no longer as static documents, but more like dynamic automated tools driving real-time value. The call to action is to think about how rules-based systems in no-code platforms, coupled with generative AI and LLM technology specifically, can unlock the full potential of your playbooks. So having answered the question over the past 12 months, can we automate our playbooks? Let's together answer the question, how far can we take this transformation and how soon?